Everyone, I am back. I did a video over a month ago where I read the writings of Greek authors who described the Egyptians as black. Today I'm going to go over a rebuttal that I saw on the internet. And the rebuttal wasn't directed towards me. It was done 2008, but it was a rebuttal against all Afrocentric people who used the Greek writings to prove that the Egyptians were black. So basically, she's stating, and it's a woman, that, it sounds like a woman, the name, that the Afrocentric people are misreading Greek text. So I'm not going to go through that intro, I'm just going to get right into her evidence. Egyptians had a medium tone. And this particular quote is from, and I'm going to butcher these names, Manilius, in the book Astronomica. But this quote: "The Ethiopians stain the world and depict a race of men steeped in darkness. Less sunburnt are the natives of India. The land of Egypt, flooded by the Nile, darkens bodies more mildly, owing to the inundation of its fields. It is a country nearer to us in its moderate climate, imparts a medium tone." So, well, I mean, I wouldn't argue with the fact that the Egyptian would have been lighter than the Ethiopian, you know, but if the Ethiopians were the blackest people on earth, to be a shade or two lighter than the Ethiopians would still make you pretty damn dark. And this quote doesn't say that the Egyptians are dark-skinned whites. It just says that they are lighter than the Ethiopian. Incidentally, to drive that point home, there's more to this quote that she did not add into this. And, you know, it's a shame she didn't add it in there. But that's why I'm here, to read the rest of the quote that she did not add in there. "For this reason, the human race is so arranged that its practices and features vary. Nations are fashioned with their own particular complexions, and each stamps with a character of its own the like nature and anatomy of the human body, which all share. Germany, towering high with tall offspring, is blonde. Gaul is tinged to a less degree with a near-related redness. Hardier Spain breeds close-knit, sturdy limbs. The father of the city endows the Romans with the features of Mars and Venus. Joining the war god, fashions them with well-proportioned limbs. Quick-witted Greece proclaims in the tanned faces of its people the gymnasiums and manly wrestling schools. Curly hair about the temples betray the Syrian. The Ethiopians stain the world and depict a race of men steeped in darkness. Less sunburnt are the natives of India. The land of Egypt, flooded by the Nile, darkens bodies more mildly, owing to the inundation of the fields. It is a country nearer to us in its moderate climate, imparts a medium tone. The sun god dries up with dust the tribes of Africans amid their desert lands. The Moors derive their name from their faces, and their identity is proclaimed by the color of their skins." So that is the rest of the quote. And as you can see, he is listing the various complexions of the people of the world, from the whitest to the darkest people. Well, he's starting with the white people. The Germans are the whitest. The Syrians are the darkest of the whites. The Greeks are the second darkest of the whites. And after he's finished with the white people, then he jumps over to the black people. The blackest of the blacks, which are the Ethiopians, the Sudanese, then the Indians, and then the Egyptians, and then the Moor. So if the Egyptians are dark-skinned whites, which is something she's going to try to argue, one would wonder why the Egyptians are slumming it with the black folks in this quote. But she didn't add that in this quote because it would paint a different picture from the argument that she's trying to make, and she doesn't want that. So we go on to Philostratus. She doesn't quote Philostratus but paraphrases him. Philostratus, for example, noticed that the people living near the Nubian border were lighter than Ethiopians, and that the Egyptians were lighter still. Again, I don't know what that means. I don't know if these are three separate races, if she's trying to imply that, you know, just because Jay-Z is lighter than Kanye West and Beyonce's lighter than both of them, that don't make three separate races. They're still all black people, members of the black race. And then we have Egyptians resemble northern Indians. There are cases of Greco-Roman authors likening Egyptians' appearance to that of northern Indians, who generally do not look like black Africans, according to Arrian. The appearance of the inhabitants is also not very different in India and Ethiopia. The southern Indians are rather more like Ethiopians, as they are black to look on, and their hair is black, only they are not so snub-nosed or woolly-haired as the Ethiopians. The northern Indians are most like the Egyptians physically. So I'm not going to read Strabo because Strabo says the exact same thing. I'm just going to read what she says after the Strabo quote. Arrian and Strabo concur that the Egyptians resemble northern Indians, who are usually straight-haired and occasionally as light-skinned as southern Europeans. So those are her words, not theirs. They mention nothing about light-skinned Indians. And if it's their intention to let us know that the Egyptian was a different race from the Ethiopian, why not compare the Egyptian to a Persian or to a Syrian? Why compare an Egyptian to a northern Indian and a southern Indian? Members of the same race. Just because Frida Pinto is lighter than Mindy Kaling don't make them two separate races.